on to the various, we have discussed about like what is a primary market, what is a secondary market. Now we have look into like how the trading in the stock exchange take place. So now today I'll start with the what are the various types of the capital market instrument. We have discussed about like what is a equity share, what is a, this is known as the debentures, then the preference shares. Now today I'll discuss what is a bond. See, bond are basically the debt instrument. So these are basically issued by the companies to raise funds from, like, they raise funds for like various types of the capital requirement. So the various types of capital requirement here means for the long term capital requirement. So the various institutes depends upon these bonds only. Okay, so by purchasing a bond, what will happen? An investor will lend money for a fixed period of a time at a determined interest rate. Okay, so they have basically a fixed value, which is the amount which is to be returned to the investor after a specified period, or you can say at the maturity of the period. Okay, so like bonds, you are being provided whenever a company needs funds, they raise their funds from these bonds. So during this period the investor receive a regular payment of interest. Okay, so the regularly interest is being paid. So it may be either semi, you can say annually, quarterly, so it depend upon like what conditions you have finalized at the time of the issue of the bonds. So the percentage of the face value which is being issued is known as the coupon payment. So bonds can be issued either at a premium or at a discount or at a face value. So the three things are being there. At par means like if they are issued at a 100 value and we have issued it at on the same price, so that is known as the face value, and premium is like less than the face value. And if we have issued it more than the face value, then it is issued at a premium. So a bond, you can say, either issued by a government or a corporation has a specific maturity period. So it may range from a, like, it depends upon entirely upon your decision, like for how long you have to raise that fund. So accordingly you can raise the fund for that. Okay, then coming on to like both the debentures and the bonds, basically this seems to be same. Okay, but bonds are basically issued by the governments, but nowadays corporates are also issuing these bonds. Okay, so that they can raise the funds. So the government bonds are there, then there are various types of corporate bonds from where the funds can be raised. So the types of bond, if I can ask you, is of two types. The first one is the government bonds, which are like a fixed income debt instrument, which are being issued by the government to finance their capital requirement. See, the government has various types of the financial requirement. They have to invest in the infrastructure and the various facilities or for the development projects. So the government issues these bonds so that they can raise the funds from the market. And same with the corporate bonds, they have to raise the funds. Okay, so they raise the funds with the help of these bonds. And then coming on to the various types of the bonds, the first one is the zero coupon bond. So many of time this question is being out asked, what is a zero coupon bond and what is a deep discount bond. So remember this, zero coupon bonds are the bonds which are basically issued at a discount to their face value. Means if the face value is 100, they are issued at 90 rupees. And at the time of maturity, like whenever they mature, the amount which is repaid to the holder is basically the face value. That means they are being at the time of the maturity, what is given is the face value. So although there is no interest, but they are issued at a discount and redeemed at a face value, so it is added as a, you can say it can be seen as a coupon interest for sure. So that is the zero coupon bond. So the difference between the, like you can say, the issue price and the redeemable price is the interest to the holder. Although they don't carry any interest, but they are being issued at a discount and they are being redeemed at a face value. So that is a zero coupon bond, or you can say the deep discount bond. Then coming on to the mortgage bonds. So the mortgage bonds mean like where you have secured your bonds with the some kind of a physical assets of the company, like a building, anything. Okay, so that is a mortgage bond. Then coming on to the convertible bonds. So the convertible bonds have a right where you can convert your bonds into the shares. Okay, like you can convert your bonds into the stock of the company. So that is known as the convertible bond. They carry a you can say a clause where you can convert your bonds into the stock of that company, and the conversion ratio, or you can say the prices, are all fixed at the time when these bonds are being issued. So what is, you can say, the next one is the step up bond. So the bond that is, you can say, a lower coupon rate for an initial payment, which then increase to a higher coupon rate. Like they are being paid a lower coupon rate for the starting period, for the first initial years when it is being issued, and after some period when it gains the market, then the coupon rate is being increased. So that is like step up. Like earlier it was lower, and then it is being increased to a higher one. And then coming up, please, the callable and non-callable bonds. So the callable bonds are like which can be, you can say, which can be redeemed before their maturity date actually arrive. So they are called callable, means you can call them before the maturity and you can redeem them. But non-callable are one which cannot be redeemed before the maturity. So if you have to redeem them, then you have to wait for the maturity of the period. Then coming on next, that is the option bonds. So here a bond holder has one right, that is known as that he can choose either cumulative or non-cumulative. So what is a cumulative means? Like if you you haven't paid the interest, so the interest is basically added on and accumulated. So whenever the interest is being declared, so all the previous year for which the interest is not being paid, or you can say coupon rate is not being paid, is paid to the bond holder. So that is the known as the cumulative. That means it keeps on adding on for the time period for which the interest is being not given. And non-cumulative are the one like whenever the interest is being there, if it is not issued for this year, so it can't be added to the next year. So either it is now or never. Okay. Then comes the bonds with the warrants. The warrant allow the board, you can say, the holders to buy a number of equity share at a pre-specified rate. Okay. So here they call, you can say, they are issued with a warrant to make it like, to make them more attractive or so that they can invest. Then is the floating rate bonds. Floating rate bonds are bonds where the interest rate is basically not fixed, and it is actually according to a benchmark. We fixed, okay, around this thing it will be there, and accordingly it will be fixed. Then the important thing that is there is the depository receipt. See, whenever you are being into the in a particular suppose your company is in India and you want to raise the foreign capital, so you can go for these depository receipts. So here what you can say, a domestic company, whenever they want to raise the finance from the international market, they can go for this depository receipt. So here what happened, the shares of the company which is domiciled in one country, means they are fixed in one company, are held by the depository, that is the overseas depository banks, and are the claim against these shares. Like how? See, first, suppose there is an Indian company, it has issued certain shares. Okay. Then there is a some bank which is being allocated in India only, that is the, you can say, domestic custodian bank. So what it will happen, suppose some foreign investor asks us, okay, I want to invest in your company, in Indian company. Suppose a foreign, you can say US client say you, I want to purchase this share. So what will happen, it will ask the company, and the company will give those shares to the domestic custodian bank, and they will hold that shares for that, and then they will give the instruction to the overseas depository. So overseas depository is basically the depository which is into the country where that foreign investor it is. जहां पे वो फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर होगा वहां पे वो डिपॉजिटरी होगी. तो जो आपका कस्टोडियन बैंक है वो उस डिपॉजिटरी को बोलेगा कि मैंने इस पर्सन के बिहाफ पे ये शेयर इसने लेने हैं. Then that depository will ask the foreign investor that on behalf of you I am holding this much foreign that shares with me. So that shares which are being held by the overseas depository are known as the depository receipt. So you can basically say whenever the shares are being issued in your general market, it is known as equity shares. And suppose you are your shares are being given to some foreign investor, they are given the name of the depository receipt. Then there are basically two type of depository receipt. Always remember GDR and ADR. So these are the very important note that are being asked. What is a depository receipt? What is a GDR? And what is an ADR? both are same like JDR, GDR and ADR. They are used as an instrument to raise the funds from the foreign market. But what is global depository receipt? Like it is an instrument in which a company located in domestic country issues share in convertible bond outside the domestic country. Suppose any company like a Indian company want to raise funds from the outside India, so it will issue a GDR, global depository receipt. So the depository receipt here means global depository receipt means in any foreign currency except like they are being, you can say they are being registered in any stock exchange except the American depository. Okay, so what is the American depository receipt? Where they are being issued by an American bank. Okay, so अगर US करेंसी में है तो वो ADR है, अगर और किसी करेंसी में है that is your GDR. Okay, so ADR is basically you can say instrument by American bank to the number of shares of foreign country that can be traded in the यूएस फाइनेंशियल मार्केट. तो दोनों का डिफरेंस बेटा यही है, जो एडीआर है वो यूएस डॉलर में होते हैं और जो जीडीआर है आपके एनी करेंसी एक्सेप्ट दैट यूएस करेंसी. ओके, तो वो होते हैं आपके जीडीआर. और जो आपके एडीआर होते हैं ना, वो कौन सी मार्केट में ट्रेड करोगे आप? सिर्फ और सिर्फ यूएस स्टॉक मार्केट में. बट जो जीडीआर हैं आपके वो किसी भी स्टॉक एक्सचेंज मार्केट में एक्सचेंज होंगे एक्सेप्ट द यूएस स्टॉक मार्केट. सो जस्ट रिमेंबर, if it is related to US stock market, then it is ADR, and if it is related to any other currency except US currency, then it is the GDR. Then there are, you can say, global debt instrument. What do you mean by the global debt instrument? It is basically an instrument, you can say, through which a company can raise funds from the outside its country. Okay, जहां पे वो कंपनी रजिस्टर्ड है उसके अलावा अगर वो कहीं से इंस्ट्रूमेंट अगर वो फंड्स रेज करते हैं, दैट इज नोन एज अ ग्लोबल डेट इंस्ट्रूमेंट. लाइक through which a company can raise from outside its country of incorporation. अगर कोई कंट्री में, इंडिया में कोई कंपनी आपकी इनकॉर्पोरेट हुई है और आप फंड्स रेज करना चाहते हो बाहर से कंट्री से, सो दैट इज योर ग्लोबल डेट इंस्ट्रूमेंट. सो बहुत तरह के इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज होते हैं बेटा. एक होता है एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग. सो एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग क्या होती है? It is, you can say, basically an instrument that help Indian firms to raise funds from outside India in foreign currency. तो यहाँ पे बेटा जो आप फंड्स रेज कर रहे हो वो किस में रेज कर रहे हो? फॉरेन करेंसी से, ताकि आप अपनी डिमांड यहाँ पे मीट कर सको. ठीक है. सो इंडियन कॉर्पोरेट्स, various government have given various okay, if you want to go and have the fund from the foreign capital, then you can raise. Okay, so that is the external commercial borrowing. So it can be in the form of like you can say foreign currency convertible bond, foreign currency exchangeable bond. और उसके टू रूट्स रहते हैं. एक रूट रहता है बेटा अप्रूवल रूट और एक रहता है ऑटोमेटिक रूट. अप्रूवल रूट का मतलब होता है अगर आपको कुछ एक लिमिट तक की फंड्स रेज करने हैं, सपोज स्पेसिफाइड लिमिट तक की रेज करने हैं, तो आप ऑटोमेटिक रूट पे जा सकते हो. बट अगर आपको उस स्पेसिफाइड लिमिट से ज्यादा फंड्स रेज करने हैं तो आपको अप्रूवल लेना पड़ता है. दैट इज नोन एज द अप्रूवल रेट इन द केस ऑफ एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग. ठीक है. तो ये कौन रेगुलेट करता है बेटा? ये रेगुलेट आरबीआई करता है, ताकि हम बाहर से फंड्स रेज कर सके. ठीक है. तो अभी इसकी नीड क्या होगी? Whenever you are like you are in the shortage of money in your you are in domestic market, you don't have that opportunities available with you, then you can obviously search for the opportunities of foreign market. So at that time you can go for these external commercial borrowings. Okay, so here you can say the government of your country normally encourage you, okay, go and for external, because it will lead to the encourage the inflow of the external funds. ठीक है. अभी क्या होगा? फॉरेन करेंसी आएगी तो कंट्री का तो ग्रोथ ही होगा ना. सो ऑब्वियसली गवर्नमेंट say okay, go for the external commercial borrowing. So but there are a lot of, you can say, requirements that are being required if you have to go for the approval route. ठीक है. Then comes a euro bond. So what is a euro bond? It is also a debt instrument debt instrument only. So it is like a bond which is issued in a currency other than the currency of the country in which it is issued. मतलब जिस करेंसी में, जिस कंट्री में वो इशू होता है उसके अलावा किसी करेंसी में इशू होता है. अगर कोई इंडिया में आके फॉरेन करेंसी का कुछ इशू करेगा, दैट इज अ यूरो बॉन्ड. So here the currency which is being used is not of the domestic कंपनी होगी, ठीक है, डोमेस्टिक कंट्री की उसके पास नहीं रहती है। सो दीज आर लाइक यू कैन से अंडरटेकिंग, बहुत सारे एमएनसीज वगैरह रहते हैं ना बेटा, वो इशू करते हैं। लाइक अगर आप बोलो अ यूरो बॉन्ड विच इज डिनोमिनेटेड इन यूएस, अगर यूएस करेंसी में अगर कोई यूरो बॉन्ड होगा तो उसको हम क्या बोलेंगे, यूरो डॉलर। और अगर कोई किसी और करेंसी में होगा तो उस करेंसी का नाम आगे लगता है। तो इट इज बेसिकली where your currency is not used, okay, in which this is being issued. Then come the foreign bond. So a foreign bond is a bond issued in the domestic market by foreign entity, ठीक है। अभी इसमें क्या रहता है, बॉन्ड जो होता है बेटा, इसमें डोमेस्टिक मार्केट क्या होती है, फॉरेन एंटिटी की डोमेस्टिक मार्केट की करेंसी में ही इशू किया जाता है। उसमें क्या था, फॉरेन करेंसी यूज करते हैं, इसमें क्या है बेटा, करेंसी आपकी खुद की है। तो इसमें क्या रहता है, ये रहता है फॉरेन बॉन्ड। तो फॉरेन बॉन्ड में क्या हो गया कि कंपनी की करेंसी जो है वो खुद की है, ठीक है। सो लाइक वेरियस टाइप, लाइक इसमें बहुत सारी एग्जांपल्स रहती है बेटा, जैसे समुराई बॉन्ड्स, बुलडॉग बॉन्ड्स। समुराई बॉन्ड्स होता है जब जापानीज करेंसी में, जापानीज येन में कोई बॉन्ड इशू करते हैं ना, तो उसको बोलते हैं समुराई बॉन्ड। देन यांकी बॉन्ड्स। तो ये सब टाइप्स ऑफ बॉन्ड्स हैं जो डिफरेंट होते हैं, ठीक है। सो दिस इज नोन एज द वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ द बॉन्ड दैट आर बीइंग इशूड। सो then come the SEBI. See, SEBI का role capital market में, as in the case of the money market, the very important role is being played by the RBI. But in the capital market, the main role is being played by the Stock Exchange, Security and Exchange Board of India. Okay, so it is the one who is regulating all the market. So the if you come with the SEBI, it was being formulated in 88, and with the establishment of SEBI Act in 92, which gives SEBI the powers and function. Although it was established earlier, but the main powers and the functions were being started after the 92 Act. So the main aim of SEBI was to, what was the main aim? Like you are incorporating the market, you see various types of the scams are being there. So that is why there is some regulatory authority should be there so that they can scam and everything can be regulated. So SEBI come into existence. So the main aim here was to protect the interest of the investor. Since you are earning, you are spending a hard-earned money over there and you are investing over there, so you need basically some sort of a safeguard. So to provide that safeguard, the SEBI is being established. So the government wanted that the money with the public should be safe enough. Otherwise, there was being a phobia that, okay, don't go for the capital market. It may lead to the some sort of the frauds only. So the capital market, to increase the inflow of the capital, to increase the saving, you can say mobilize the savings of the people, this SEBI Act was come into existence so that the economic development can be taken care of. So there are various, you can say, types of foreign the stock exchange. At present, there are 23 stock exchange that are being regulated. Okay. So if you have heard of that, like there are various scams. The main famous one is the Harshad Mehta scam and the Ketan Parak scam. So these scams were there, and this come into, like after this regulations also there were scams, but it has limited the, you can say this scams are being now being regulated, and the various types of regulations are being coming into existence. So coming on to the various functions, before that I'll give you the explanation of like what are the objectives. Okay, just a second. So what are, you can say, the various powers of SEBI? So to approve bylaws of security exchange, obvious, to require the security exchange to amend their bylaws. So these are basically the powers which are being given to the SEBI so that it can regulate the market and inspect the book of accounts of financial intermediaries whenever financial intermediaries are there. So SEBI needs to regulate all them. Then the registration of broker and sub-broker is also mandatory if you have to deal with the stock exchange. Then compel certain company to list their shares in one or more stock exchange. So it is basically the regulations of the SEBI that provide the various guidelines to the various company. So the objective of SEBI is basically, the first important objective is to protect the investor. So whenever you, as I told you, that the main objective is to protect the people in the stock market so that their inflow of the money which is there in the this capital market will generate the investment avenues for the people rather than being a burden for them, or you can say any sort of a okay. Then prevention of the malpractices. So what is the prevention of malpractices? Means that the reason why SEBI was being for is the malpractices. So the malpractices were like everything is now being regulated. You can't take the things into okay. What we can say, you have to follow a proper procedures for all those things. So the malpractices are not being now into are being taken care by the SEBI. There are proper rules and regulation according to which every company has to operate. Then is the fair and proper functioning. Like SEBI is being responsible for the orderly functioning of the capital market and basically to keep a check over the financial intermediaries like brokers, sub brokers. So like there are rules like you need to get registered. Then there are various types of regulation that are being administered over them. So these are basically, you can say, the SEBI's main objectives. So here the main purpose is like whatever funds are being there in the market, they should lead to the growth of the country, economic development of the country. So SEBI basically consists of the 9 members. First one is the chairman, which is being appointed by the government of India. Then comes the 2 members who are, you can say, the officers from the Union Finance Ministry. One from RBI and 5 members are appointed by the Union Government of India. So these are the, you can say, the authorities, or you can say the how the SEBI is being constituted. Okay. Now there are various functions of the SEBI. So the main function, if you can look into, provide the, it is being classified into 3 parts. These functions are being classified. The first one is the protective function, then is the regulatory, and the third one is the development. So these are, you can say, the basic functions for which is the protective here means like you have to protect the interest of your investors who are investing their hard-earned money in the capital market. So they have to find out the various type. They protect the investors by like they have to check either there is any price rigging, or they have to provide the insider trading shouldn't be there. Then they should find out like the malpractices shouldn't be there, and this should create some sort of investors awareness. Okay, the investor should be aware of like what exactly in the market is going on. Then is the regulatory function. So regulatory function is basically to check the functioning of the business in the financial market. So these functions are like conducting inquiries and audit of exchange, regulation and takeover of the company, levying of the fees, performing and exercising power. So these are basically the function which are being there for the companies so that they are being regulated for their actions. Then is the development function. Like main purpose of the, you can say, the capital market introduction was the economic development. So how these development function like impart training to the intermediaries who are being their brokers. So they are being imparted with some sort of, you can say, trainings, and then to carry out the research work. Various types of works are being carried out, research work, like how these sectors can improve further. Then encourage self-regulating organization and buy sell mutual fund directly from AMC through a broker. So nowadays, if you can see the purchasing and selling, you can open a demat account and you can deal on your own. So these things are being, you can say, become more and more easy for the normal person also, so that they have the proper knowledge of all those things and they can invest in the capital market. So it is only because of the SEBIs, okay, so that the person are being aware, okay, my rules, whatever my funds are being invested, it is being authorized by the SEBI and it is taking care of all the precautions. Then coming on to, you can say, the structure of SEBI, I have discussed. Now the role of SEBI. See, as in the money market, RBI is the main introductory authority and the main authority which is regulating all the thing. So the SEBI is the main which is regulating the capital market. So what SEBI provide the guidelines for the primary market as well as for the secondary market. Like all the applicants which are there should be submitted to the SEBI in the prescribed form. Like who is ever is being there, it should be properly submitted in the prescribed form and the application should be there. And application should be accompanied by true copy of industrial license. Like what are the various sort of the documents which are to be there? The first one is the industrial license. Then the cost of the project should be furnished. Like what will be the cost and what sort of economic development, what sort of investments will be there. Then whether the issue of equity share capital involve offer for subscription by public for the first time, or the value of the equity share subscribed capital held by promoter. Like what will be the denominator? Like it is the IPO or what it is? It should be clearly instructed. Then what will be the equity preference ratio? Like it may be the case like either you are going for equity share or the preference, then you need to regulate, tell like what will be the ratio for the same. So these are basically the regulation which are given for the primary market. Then you have seen like there are various type of underwriting feature like underwriting services which are being provided. So the underwriting institutional, they are provided with the various types of responsibility. Like industry, whenever an underwriter not only has to underwrite the security but has to subscribe within 45 days. Like whenever as underwriter has given the authority, okay, I will underwrite these shares, that means within 40 days he will have to take the unsubscribed subscription with him. Okay, after 45 days it's not allowed, before 45 days it should be there. Then is underwriting obligation should not exceed at any time 20 times of his net worth. So whatever his net worth is there, it should not exceed the 20 time of that net worth. So these are like the various regulations which are given for the primary market. Then coming for the secondary market, the first one that is very important is the listing of shares. Like the shares of the company should be offered to public through prospectus. So we have heard of, okay, the prospectus is being issued, we read those prospectus in which everything related to the financial aspects of that companies are being published. Then and what is the date of opening of subscription, what will the receipt of the application, and what will be the method according to which the share will be allocated, it should be clearly instruction. The requirement for the minimum issue is 3 crore, out of which 1.8 crore must be offered to the public. So this is the prescribed criteria if you are going for the secondary market subscriptions. Then intraday trading and exposure limit within a few to enhance the market safety. So this is basically for the market safety only. Then there are some types of committees who have given certain regulation. So this is what exactly is the capital market. So after this, we are being forwarded to our fourth unit that will be the related to the banks. So here we will cover like the banks as well as the non-banking financial company. So this unit, all of you know about like what is exactly bank, and we have already covered this and some aspects are being covered in the first unit only when we were discussing about that. So in this we will read like what will be the bank, and what are the various types of the bank, what are the various like what some banks are being, you can say, as known as a specialized bank that are being formulated to perform a certain functions. So we will read about those, and like what are the non-banking financial companies, and what are the various regulations that are being given to that. So coming on to this, just me share the screen, just wait. Okay, so you can see the bank is look the word is derived from a word that is banku, which means a money exchange table. Okay, so in India bank is like very older time. Okay, so the banks basically earlier we mean Seths and Shahs, all these were taken as a definition for a bank. But if you look into what is a bank, it is basically an institution that prepared to accept deposits of the money and repay them on demand. So that is the main function. Like you are providing the money whenever it is being needed by the people, and you're accepting their deposits with the various types of deposits that are being there. Okay? Fixed deposit, saving deposit, then is the current deposit. So these are the various things. Okay. So you deals with the deposit and advances. So it receives money from those who want to save. Okay, so whenever you want to save something, then you can go to the bank and accept, then you can deposit your money with the bank in any the farm, like various types of the deposits are being available. And whenever you require that fund, it will be available to you by the bank on demand. And even if you want to go for the loan, then there are various types of facilities are being provided by the bank. So the main function for which the bank was being introduced is like accepting the deposit, and you can say the lending the money at the time of the request. So what is the definition? The bank is an establishment which deals in money, receiving it on deposit from customer, honoring customers' drawing accounts, such deposit on demand, collecting checks for the customer, and lending or investing surplus deposit until they are required for repayment. So basically, it is like the various functions which are being given, which are being formed, you can say performed by the banks. So any institution or which is allowed, like they receive the money of the person and return them at the time of the request by them. So the main definition is given by the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Banking means acceptance for the purpose of lending of deposit of money from public, repayable on demand. That means you have to repay them when it is being demanded by them, and withdrawal by check, draft, order, or otherwise. So how you can withdraw the money? You can withdraw your money either by check, then you can withdraw your money by draft, then you can also use for other electronic modes. So that comes under the definition of the bank. So coming on to the next, that is the features of a bank. What is the main features of a bank? The first thing, that the bank deals in money. So it is the main, you can say the feature, but we can't say everyone who is dealing in the bank money is bank. No, it is not. Bank is something which deals in money and is being registered as a bank. Okay. So it is being registered as a bank. So the bank is a financial institution which deal with other people's money. So obviously the money is being invested by the people's only, that is the depositors. Then is the individual, firm, and company. A bank, you can say a bank may be a company, an institution, or a private bank also. And acceptance of deposits. So bank can accept deposit in any form, like it can accept deposit in the form of the fixed deposit, saving bank. So there are various types of deposit जो आपकी नीड के हिसाब को आप suitable करता है, आप वहां पे accept कर सकते हो. Fixed deposit में भी आप invest कर सकते हो, आप saving bank में भी कर सकते हो, आप current account में save कर सकते हो. So these are like the various types of deposit where you can basically invest your money. Then is giving the advances. So the bank basically give you the money as and when it is being required by you. Okay, you have invested your money, then you can go to the bank and have that money with you. And payment and withdrawal. So the payment and withdrawal, like you can withdraw your money either by, as I told you, either by check, draft, or you can use any electronic mode from where you can withdraw. Then is the agency and utility services. So agency and utility service means where bank act as an agent for you. Okay, bank act as an agent for you in those functions. So it perform the functions on behalf of you, like payment of some amount. अभी हम कई बार बोलते हैं ना, हमारे इंश्योरेंस का प्रीमियम बैंक पे कर देगा, हम स्टैंडिंग इंस्ट्रक्शन दे के रखते हैं. एंड समटाइम एक्सेप्ट करना है, हम लोग इनकम रिसीव करना है किसी से, तो उसके लिए भी स्टैंडिंग इंस्ट्रक्शन दे के रखते हैं कि आप मेरे बैंक में डायरेक्टली डिपॉजिट करो. So that is known as the एजेंसी यूटिलिटी फंक्शन. तो बहुत सारे फंक्शंस होते हैं वैसे. देन इज द एवर इंक्रीजिंग फंक्शन, लाइक बैंक कीप्स ऑन एवेल्युएटिंग, एंड देन देयर आर वेरियस फंक्शंस दैट आर बीइंग नाउ एडेड इनटू इट, लाइक दे आर इन्वेस्टिंग योर फंड्स ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ यू इन म्यूचुअल फंड्स एंड ऑल दैट. Then is the connecting link. So bank act as a connecting link. How? Like the person who is in deficient of money, जिसके पास पैसा नहीं है और जिसके पास वो सेविंग में वो पैसा है, उन दोनों के बीच में वो एक्ट करता है एज अ लिंक. ठीक है, वो प्रोवाइड करता है द मनी टू द वन हु नीड्स इट and the one who have the surplus of that. So they act as a link between the saver and the deficient money person. Then the banking business. So banking, you can say, should do the business of banking and should not be substitute to any other business. So the main purpose should be banking only. And the name identity here means that whenever a bank is there, the use of the word bank at the end is compulsory. Either it is a private bank, either it is a public bank. The word bank should be used at the end of it. So that is a mandatory thing. So the functions of the bank, like what are the main functions of a bank? First one is accept deposit from the customer. Like a bank will not give, the bank is dealing in the money that is belonging to the depositor only. So they are not investing any funds of their own. So the bank can accept deposit from the customer in any form. So it can it can be saving account. So saving account is the one where you save a part of your money with that, and the interest rate that is with the saving bank account is very low. Okay, then come the current account. So the current account is basically for the person, you can say the businessman. So there is basically why it is being used. So the main purpose, or you can say the main thing that is there in the current account is that there is no limit of the number of withdrawal that is there. So they are not given any sort of interest, rather a small amount is being charged from that because they are giving you a service. तो अभी इसमें क्या रहता है, कुछ withdrawal की limit नहीं रहती. So that is why बैंक जो basically businessmen होते हैं वो ही open करते हैं current account. Then is a fixed account. So the main you can say, if you want to go for the whenever for some interest facilities, so the person invests their funds in the FDs. So that is the fixed deposit account. Then bank lends money to the needy person at a certain interest rate. So obviously whenever you require funds, you go to the bank. Either you can need it as an education loan, you can need it for a business, then you can need it for agriculture. Then a person, then bank will give you the money. Okay, so that is the one function. Then is the bank issues notes and create other inexpensive media of exchange notes. So the main function, like bank issues the notes. So the bank, कौन सा बैंक इशू करता है, आरबीआई इशू करता है. And they also give you a various types of the credit notes like bank note, bank draft. So these are the various notes which are being issued. The notes here doesn't mean the currency note, here it means bank drafts, checks. So these are the various instruments that are being used by the bank. Then the deposit may be created by the bank itself by giving loan to its customer, in which the case the borrower is credited with the deposit account. Withdrawable will be needed. So the money, you can say, may be created by the bank itself by giving loan to the customer. तो इसमें क्या रहता है, आपके पास दो ऑप्शन है. अगर आपको लोन चाहिए, then you can go for a bank, or either if you have invested your own money with the bank, then you can go and ask, okay, I need the money. So it is available to you when you basically require that. So here you can go for the money for that. Then are the various function, like as I told you, agency function or the utility function, like collection of a check drawn on another bank. Then is the acceptance of bill of exchange. So these are the various functions which are performed by like you may give the standing instruction payment, like, okay, pay this amount as a bill for me. Then is supply, then is the safe deposit facility. So these are the various functions which are being given, which are being formulated by. Then is the types of the bank. So the types of the bank, you can say RBI, the main bank, that is the, you can say the central bank over here. So the RBI is the India. RBI. So the RBI is established in the 1935, and it is the one which is being taking care, which is being giving the guidelines to all other banks. So the bank here RBI act as a, you can say the government bank of, you can say the banker for the bank as well as for the government. So various functions of the central bank is, first one is like the issue of currency note. Okay, then regulating the circulation of money in the country, like how everything related to the money, economic development is being related to the RBI, because it is the main function over the RBI to control the functioning of the banking system. ठीक है, अभी banking system को पूरा control कौन करेगा बेटा, RBI करेगा ना. तो RBI, you can say, perform all the functions of the central bank. Apart from that, it controls all other banks. Okay, so the bank is basically the one who is given the monopoly of issuing the currency. So the currency is being note are being issued by the RBI only. So various types of the, you can say the function RBI consists of, like उसके बहुत सारे वो रहते हैं बेटा department. First one is the issue department. So the issue department mean the जो आपके लिए क्या करेगा बेटा, नोट इश्यूज करेगा. ठीक है, अभी कैसे रहता है, अभी ऐसा नहीं है ना कि जितना उसका मन किया उतना के नहीं. द नोट्स आर बीइंग इशूड विच अगेंस्ट द गोल्ड एंड द सिक्योरिटीज. ठीक है, उसका 40% जो होता है उतना उसको नोट्स वो मार्केट में इशू करता है. देन इज द बैंकिंग डिपार्टमेंट. सो व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ द बैंकिंग डिपार्टमेंट, like it authorized to deposit money on deposit with interest to purchase and trade bills and the government securities. तो ये गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज और जितनी भी डिस्काउंट करनी होती है ट्रेड बिल्स को, ये फंक्शन परफॉर्म करता है बैंक का बैंकिंग डिपार्टमेंट. देन इज द एक्सचेंज कंट्रोल, जो बेटा फॉरेन एक्सचेंज की जितनी भी ट्रांजैक्शन है उनको मेंटेन करने का फंक्शन या उनको स्टेबल करने का फंक्शन कौन करता है? एक्सचेंज कंट्रोल डिपार्टमेंट. देन इज द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बैंकिंग ऑपरेशन एंड डेवलपमेंट, जो आपको कोई भी फंक्शन बेटा जैसे रूरल फाइनेंस और ये सब के लिए है, जो सेमी अर्बन एरियाज के लिए रेगुलेशंस रहती हैं, वो इसके अंडर आती हैं. लाइक दीज आर द वेरियस डिपार्टमेंट. हर फंक्शन परफॉर्म करने के लिए बेटा एक अलग डिपार्टमेंट बनाया गया है. देन इज द इंडस्ट्रियल फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट. अभी इसमें क्या है बेटा? इंडस्ट्रियल फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट नाम से ही समझ में आ रहा है कि इंडस्ट्री फाइनेंस की जितनी भी एक्टिविटीज हैं जो स्टेट फाइनेंशियल, वो इसके अंडर आएंगी इंडस्ट्रियल फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट के. देन इज द रिसर्च एंड स्टैटिस्टिक्स. ये आपके लिए क्या परफॉर्म करता है? स्टैटिस्टिक फंक्शंस. बैंक के जितने भी रेगुलेटरी स्टैटिस्टिक्स वगैरह होते हैं वो इस डिपार्टमेंट के पास रहते हैं. देन इज द लीगल डिपार्टमेंट, जो लीगल गाइडलाइंस प्रोवाइड करता है बैंक के लिए. So these are basically the various departments. You don't need to remember it. You just need to have a brief idea. Okay, these are the various types of the departments that are there in the RBI. And then coming on to the commercial banks. So the commercial banks are basically the banks where the main like they are being established to earn profit. So the earn profit doesn't mean like they have to earn, like their main function is to make short-term loans to the business, and basically they create money in the market. So banks like you can say Punjab National Bank, State Bank of India, they all come under the consideration of the commercial bank. So they provide you with the various types of the loans, advances which are being given. So a commercial bank borrows money from individual, like they accept the deposits, fixed deposit, and it lent to the various purposes, for the various purposes whenever it is required. So coming on to the commercial bank, it can be further divided as a public sector bank. So the public sector man means like the nationalized bank, जिनको हम बोलते हैं ना, उनको हम public sector bank बोलते हैं, जो government of a country जिस regulate करती है. So in a public sector bank, जो major stake रहता है वो बेटा किसका रहता है? Government का रहता है. So the bank operate under the RBI, which is the central bank. So the main public sector bank, you know all about it, like either it is a SBI, Bank of India, all of them come under the definition of the public sector bank. And the private sector bank, like the here you can say the main share capital is being held by the private individuals. So there are mostly nowadays, if you look into the scenario, the most of the banks that are there in the market are the private sector bank, like either HDFC banks, ICICI banks. So these are the main prominent players in the private sector. Then come the foreign banks. So the banks which are registered and have their headquarters in a foreign country but operates their branches in one country. ठीक है. अभी क्या रहता है बेटा, इसका जो हेडक्वार्टर है वो तो एक कंट्री में है, ठीक है, बट आप क्या है उसके ब्रांचेस बहुत सारे कंट्रीज में. अभी ऐसे बहुत सारे बैंक्स हैं इंडिया में भी, जैसे स्टैंडर्ड एंड चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बैंक्स, ये सब बैंक्स जो हैं इनके जो हेड ऑफिस है वो इंडिया में नहीं है, वो आउटसाइड इंडिया है, बट दे आर ऑपरेटिंग इन इंडिया ऑल्सो. So they are known as the foreign banks. So there are various types of the banks that are being there operating. So what are the main functions of a commercial bank? Like we have found out, okay, this is a public bank, this is a private bank, but where are the various functions? The first one is accepting deposit. So the deposits can be accepted either in the form of a demand deposit. So the demand deposit means like the owners of the, you can say the allowed to withdraw money anytime by simply writing a check. आपने एक सेविंग बैंक में पैसा रखा, आपको जब जरूरत पड़ी आपने वो पैसा निकाल लिया, that is your demand deposit. Then is the time deposit. Here you invest your money, so within a stipulated time, okay, this is the fixed time period of a maturity, I'll invest my money for this much amount, or you can say the FDs. So वो आपकी बेटा आती है time deposit में. Then is advance loan. So like the main function for the bank, whenever we need enough funds, okay, whenever we require funds, any individual or any person, then they go for the bank. So the bank can give you loan in any form. They can provide you the facility of overdraft, they can give you cash credit and the bill of exchange, discounting the bill. So these are the various types of the function which are being performed by the commercial bank. So these are the main function that is there, that are known as the primary function. Then come the secondary function. They come under 3 headings. The first one is agency, then is general utility and other function. So the agency function are the when where the bank act as an agent for their customer, like they collect a check. Suppose you have given your instruction to the bank, so the bank collect check and bill of exchange on behalf of their customer through the clearing houses. So this is a function where bank act as an agent for you. Then is collecting income. So it constitutes another function of a commercial bank. So the banker collect the, you can say, either your salaries are being credited to your accounts. So that is your the collecting income. So your money is directly deposited in your account and the bank is acting as an agent for you. Then they are acting as a paying expenses. So like paying expenses mean that you are paying the insurance bill, premium, telephone bills. So on behalf of yourself, the bank can perform this function, but they are being given the regulation, like standing instruction, and the bank act upon that. Then is the general utility function. So the general utility function, like apart from these function, like you are being provided with a local facility. So that is a very famous one. Whenever we have some gold or something, we go and basically keep it in a bank. We think it is a more safer, safe to keep our money with the bank rather than in the bank locker, rather than in our houses only. Then is issuing the traveler check. So whenever you are traveling abroad, so you don't carry cash or with you. What you go for a traveler check, so that it becomes less risky to carry the money with you. So the bank impart this function, that is they issue the traveler checks to you. Then dealing in a foreign exchange, like whenever importer and exporters are there, so foreign exchange function is being performed by the banks. They provide you with the different currencies if you have to deal in the foreign exchange. Then is transferring the funds. So the transferring the funds mean you have to, okay, you don't have to go and transfer the funds physically to any person. You can simply deposit the money in your account and it can be transferred to the other person. So that is the basically you can transfer the funds. Then the other functions here means, like other functions which are being created are like the creating money. So creating money here means like a bank has increased the monetary supply. Like if you give a loan to some person, so it will obviously increase the credit supply in the market. Then is the electronic banking. So the electronic banking, like when nowadays most of the you people are aware of like what are the electronic banking, like debit card, credit card, internet banking. So nobody goes to the bank for these check facilities and all that. Normally we go for these electronic modes only because it become more convenient and more easy for us. So these are the various types of the function. So my next topic I'll take in the next lecture. Okay. So whenever my lecture will be there, I'll take care of this in the next topic. Okay then, goodbye everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.